The council chamber of the United Galactic Alliance shimmered with light. Towering windows revealed a swirling nebula outside, a riot of purples and golds. Alien delegates, each more bizarre than the last, floated, slithered, or hovered in anticipation. Their forms were alien wonders, crystalline beings that refracted light, gaseous creatures that pulsed with colors, insectoid generals with sharp mandibles, but none of them noticed the humans quietly seated in the back row. Humans were few, slender in form, seemingly fragile. Their skin varied in shades from pale to deep brown, their faces simple, their expressions unreadable. Many of the alien delegates snickered, muttered to one another. They are weak, primitive. Why even allow them here? But the humans did not flinch. Captain Elara Dane, humanity's representative, adjusted her black uniform. Her eyes were sharp, intelligent, scanning every delegate, reading every micro-expression. Around her, the other humans, scientists, diplomats, strategists, sat still, silent, but their minds were storming with calculations and contingency plans. "Let us begin," boomed the voice of Chancellor Zorvath, a six-armed alien with shimmering metallic skin. "The Hydran Imperium has accused the Sol Collective of violating the Stellar Accords. Evidence suggests humans are meddling in interstellar conflicts. How do you plead?" Elara rose. Her voice was calm but firm. "The Sol Collective operates within the law of the Accords. Humans, like all our allies, do not seek war. But we do not bow to threats or intimidation." A ripple of laughter spread through the chamber. One crystalline delegate floated forward, its voice echoing like glass. "Do you not see your own weakness? You cannot possibly defend yourselves against the Imperium's fleets. Your world, your solar system, is a spark in a storm. Surrender your ships and your technology and you may survive." Elara's jaw tightened. Weakness is not the absence of power. It is the absence of will. And humanity has will. The chamber erupted. Shouts, alien screeches, and telepathic pulses collided. Some delegates floated higher to assert dominance. Others bristled with energy weapons barely restrained. The council moderator banged his gavel, a sound like a comet cracking in space. Silence fell, tense and heavy. "Very well," Zorvath said, voice low and dangerous. "We shall allow the humans time to reconsider. But make no mistake, your fleets are negligible. Your defiance is entertaining." As the humans left the chamber, Elara's mind raced. Every word spoken, every subtle motion of the aliens had been analyzed. The Imperium believed humans were fragile, expendable, predictable. That was a grave miscalculation. In the Sol Collective's command deck, orbiting Earth's moon, the atmosphere was tense. Walls were sleek, metallic, glowing with holographic star maps. Ships of every class hovered silently, sleek stealth fighters, enormous carriers, and the mysterious black vessels that had never been revealed. "This is it," said Admiral Kiro, the fleet's chief strategist. "They think we are weak. They think we cannot respond. We strike silently, and the galaxy will see what humanity is truly capable of." Elara paced. "The silent fleet will deploy. But not yet. We give them time, enough for them to make the first mistake. Patience is as much a weapon as our technology." Down below, Earth glimmered in blue and white. Cities sparkled like constellations. Humanity's reach had been growing quietly, unnoticed, under the radar of the galactic powers. Mines in the asteroid belt, colonies on Mars, intelligence networks beyond the Kuiper belt. Every advancement, every hidden capability had been prepared not for war, but to ensure survival in a galaxy that underestimated humans. Meanwhile, alien news networks buzzed. The humans? Fragile, insignificant. They may have some clever tricks, but nothing our fleets cannot crush. The Imperium fleets, vast and red, began moving closer to Sol space. Hundreds of warships, their guns humming, their shields glinting. The galaxy watched, anticipating an easy victory. Elara stood in the command center, looking at the holographic projection of approaching fleets. "Let them come," she whispered. "Let them see that humans do not surrender. Let them see the silent fleet." A low hum grew beneath the deck. Slowly, the black ships emerged from hidden gates beyond Pluto. Their shapes were alien to everyone, even the Imperium's sensors. They reflected no light, emitted no energy, vanished and reappeared like shadows. These were not warships in the traditional sense. They were weapons of strategy, precision, and mind-bending speed. The galaxy had never seen such stealth and intelligence in any fleet. Elara's voice carried over the bridge. "The galaxy thinks we are fragile. That is their mistake. Soon, They will realize that human ingenuity is not bound by size or numbers. It is bound by a will. Outside the moon's orbit, a starfield stretched endlessly. The first moves of a silent, unseen war were about to unfold. And in that moment, humanity's underestimated spark began to ignite, quietly but with unstoppable force. The Imperium's fleet crept closer, massive vessels blotting out stars as if a dark tide were sweeping toward Sol. From the observation deck of the largest battleship, Admiral Varkle barked orders, his mandibles clicking. Target Earth's orbital defenses. Bring them to their knees. Show these humans their place. Sensors flickered. Something unusual. Fleets that should have been visible on every frequency were suddenly gone. The Imperium ships halted mid-flight, confusion rippling through the command chain. Impossible. Varkle hissed. They cannot vanish. On the moon's command deck, Ilara Dane watched their panic with a quiet intensity. They don't know where to strike, she said softly. And they won't until it's too late. Remember, the silent fleet is not just invisible. It anticipates, adapts, and outmaneuvers. Patience is our ally. Holomaps displayed the Imperium ships, once a threatening crimson cloud, now fragmented. Tiny black vessels darted between them like shadows given form. Each strike they made disabled engines or disrupted shields without ever revealing themselves. Alien crews screamed as their systems failed inexplicably. Deploy the phase mines, Ilara ordered. Not to destroy, yet. To frighten. Silent fleet frigates glided unseen between the Imperium capital ships, dropping devices that emitted energy pulses beyond alien comprehension. Lights flickered across the massive vessels, forcing Varkle to pull back. His fleet formations became chaotic. They are toying with us, he roared. A messenger drone zipped through the Imperium war room. Its message was simple: surrender now or face extinction. Varkle laughed, masking fear with arrogance. Humans are bluffing. They are children playing with knives. But the Imperium did not understand the human strength, their strategy. Every move of the silent fleet was calculated. They had studied alien behavior for decades, simulated every possible countermeasure. The humans did not merely fight, they predicted, manipulated, and turned fear into a weapon. On the human command deck, Admiral Kiro stood beside Ilara. They will come for Earth next, he said. We need a demonstration that will force their attention without costing our planet. Ilara smiled slightly. Then let's remind them why they underestimated us. In orbit above Mars, massive energy beams ignited the sky, slicing through Imperium drones and patrol vessels. The black ships revealed themselves just long enough for alien sensors to detect, then disappeared again. Entire wings of alien fighters malfunctioned mid-flight, some colliding in a tangle of metal. Across the galaxy, intelligence networks buzzed. Alien delegates in the council watched live feeds of human ingenuity, disbelief etched into every face. Some whispered, horrified. They are not like us. Their minds are weapons. Meanwhile, deep in the Sol system, a rogue Imperium admiral, suspicious of overconfidence, attempted a stealth strike on Earth. He believed humans were defenseless. His fleet jumped into the system only to be met with silence. No sensors, no warnings. Then, suddenly, a human dreadnought appeared behind them, firing precision bursts that disabled jump engines across the fleet. The Imperium flagship erupted in flames. What kind of humans are these? Screamed a lieutenant. They appear and disappear. They anticipate every move. Ilara's voice cut through the comms network. This is not about brute force. It's about intellect, foresight, and the courage to act when others hesitate. Humanity has been underestimated. That is our advantage. Alien news across the galaxy erupted in panic. Crystalline voices quivered. Insectoid generals ground their mandibles in disbelief. The gas beings pulsed nervously, their colors flickering wildly. No one had ever seen a species so small in number but so vast in cunning and coordination. Back on Earth, ordinary humans watched the events unfold via secure channels. They did not see the battles. They only saw the projections, the strategy, the calm control of leaders who refused to panic. Across cities and colonies the same thought spread: we are not alone. We are extraordinary. Ilara turned to her officers. We have shown them our hand, but not all of it. Every fleet we hide, every ship they do not know exists, will be revealed only when it counts. Let them think they have the advantage. Let them think victory is easy. It will make their downfall all the sweeter. The Imperium fleet began retreating toward its home systems, battered, humiliated, and terrified. Varkle's pride was shattered. We have been outplayed, By humans, he admitted quietly, almost to himself. This cannot be. This cannot happen again. Elara leaned on the observation deck rail, looking at the stars. They don't see it yet, she murmured. They do not yet understand that human strength is not in our numbers, nor in the size of our ships, nor in the ferocity of our firepower. It is in our minds, our will, and our unity. They will learn, soon. The galaxy had witnessed a warning. A silent, invisible, and unstoppable force had risen from a small blue planet. Humanity's shadow stretched across the stars, patient and precise, preparing for the storm that was to come. And somewhere deep within the Imperium's command centers, whispers began. The humans, they are not to be trifled with. In the quiet void between stars, the Sol Collective's black ships drifted, invisible to all but those with the knowledge to detect them. Humans moved like shadows, but not aimlessly. Every action was precise, every plan deliberate. The galaxy was still in shock. Even as the Imperium scrambled to regroup, other alien factions watched with apprehension, unsure whether humanity was a threat, an ally, or something entirely different. Elara Dane convened a secret council on the command deck of the flagship Erebus. The room was dim, lit by holographic maps of star systems, projected markers of every major galactic faction, and the moving positions of the silent fleet. Her officers leaned over the projections, discussing possibilities in measured tones. The Imperium is shaken, Admiral Kiro said, tracing a finger over the red blips of alien fleets. But they are not defeated. They will return stronger, with reinforcements and perhaps, with treachery. Elara nodded. And that is why we must not only prepare militarily. We must prepare politically. The galaxy is not just a battlefield, it is a chessboard. Every alliance, every hesitation, every lie, is a move we can use. Meanwhile, emissaries from other races approached, cautious but curious. The crystalline delegates, still shimmering with disbelief, demanded to speak. Your tactics, your fleets, they are beyond comprehension. Humans, how do you wield such power without destruction? Elara stood tall. Her gaze swept the room. We do not seek needless destruction. Humanity values life, but we also value survival. Intelligence, strategy, and adaptation are our weapons. And yes, we will fight if forced. But only the foolish underestimate us. The insectoid general, clicking mandibles nervously, leaned forward. We have always considered you weak. But now, your strength is undeniable. Why have you hidden it? Because the galaxy believes size and firepower define dominance, Elara said calmly. We are proving that dominance comes from mind, will, and the courage to act where others hesitate. The conversation was interrupted by a comms alert. A rogue faction within the Imperium, unwilling to obey the fractured chain of command, had launched a covert strike toward the mining colonies on Ceres. Small, unarmed, vulnerable human settlements, all within hours of annihilation. Phase 2 begins, Elara said softly, almost to herself. We give them a taste of consequences. Within hours, the silent fleet deployed again. Ships phased in and out of the system, striking the rogue vessels before they could fire on the colonies. Entire wings were disabled or surrendered without casualties. The Imperium's rogue admiral sent a desperate transmission. You are not merely humans. What are you? Elara's reply was simple, chilling in its calmness. We are humanity. And we are inevitable. But the political consequences rippled further. Across the galaxy, a coalition of neutral races sent envoys. They sought to negotiate, to understand the humans who had rewritten the rules of warfare. The humans welcomed dialogue, but on their terms. At a neutral station orbiting the gas giant Kepler-9, a human delegation met with a council of alien leaders. Holographic displays showed the damage inflicted on rogue Imperium fleets and the invisible movements of the silent fleet. Gas beings pulsed in patterns of awe, crystalline forms vibrated in excitement, and even the insectoid generals clicked their mandibles in restrained fear. One delegate finally spoke, voice trembling. You claim to value life, yet your actions have destroyed fleets without warning. How can we trust humans? Elara's tone was firm but fair. Trust is earned through respect. We show strength so the galaxy knows that deceit, aggression, and broken treaties come at a cost. Our goal is not chaos, it is balance. And for balance to exist, all parties must recognize our capacity and our resolve. Meanwhile, spies in the Imperium's ranks sent secret messages back to Earth. The humans, their intelligence is unmatched. Their fleets are everywhere and nowhere. Their tactics are unpredictable. They are not just a threat, they are a paradigm shift. In the shadows of this diplomacy, another revelation emerged. The silent fleet carried weapons not of brute force but of precision control. Gravitational disruptors, temporal decoys, and adaptive shields, technology that seemed almost magical to alien engineers. Each device had been tested and perfected in secret, waiting for the moment humanity would no longer be underestimated. On Earth, civilians followed the news in hushed fascination. Children pointed to the stars, wondering what might come next. Scientists quietly documented patterns, trying to understand human ingenuity. Across colonies, messages circulated: "We are not alone. We are extraordinary." But not all humans were eager to fight. Some questioned whether the silent fleet's power might provoke total war. "Are we becoming what they fear us to be?" one young strategist asked Ilara in private. Ilara looked out at the projection of the galaxy, her face illuminated by distant stars. "We are not what they fear. We are what they do not understand. And that is enough." Back in the Imperium, panic and paranoia ran deep. Varkal and his council debated in fevered whispers. "We underestimated them," he admitted. "They are not just humans, they are apex strategists, philosophers of war, and masters of patience. Every move they make is intentional. And every move we make is anticipated." The galaxy held its breath. The silent fleet remained hidden, a looming shadow of intellect and precision. Diplomacy intertwined with threat, negotiation twisted with warning. Every alien faction now realized the same terrifying truth. Humanity was not only a player in galactic politics, they were rewriting the rules entirely. Ilara returned to the Erebus Bridge, voice low but resolute. "Let them learn," she said. "Let the Imperium see that the galaxy does not bend to arrogance. Let them see what happens when a species with vision refuses to be underestimated. The first lesson has been given. The next will be unforgettable." And as the stars stretched endlessly before her, she knew the storm had only just begun. The galaxy had seen the humans' cunning, but arrogance still ran deep in the Imperium. Across their scarlet fleets, orders echoed like the drumbeats of war. Varkal's voice rang through every bridge, tinged with fury and disbelief. "The humans are small, fragile, insignificant, and yet they humiliate us. Prepare all fleets. We will crush them before they can strike again." But humans were not idle. From secret outposts on the edge of the Oort cloud, the silent fleet maneuvered with ghostly precision. Every ship, every strike craft, every black dreadnought was positioned for maximum effect. Unlike the Imperium, humans did not rush. They measured, calculated, and waited for the perfect moment to unleash devastation. In orbit above Jupiter, the Imperium's first wave jumped into soul space. Thousands of ships filled the void, each one armed with weapons of terrifying magnitude. Ion storms ignited in the gas giant's upper atmosphere, reflecting in the hulls of alien warships. The humans had anticipated this assault. "Phase 3, Ilara Dane said, standing on the Erebus Bridge. Her eyes were sharp, calculating. "Initiate the silent grid." Across the fleet, humans activated devices that bent space and light. Imperium sensors went haywire. Ships collided mid-flight, unable to navigate. Weapons misfired, shields collapsed, and the first wave of the invasion descended into chaos. From hidden vantage points, black dreadnoughts unleashed bursts of concentrated fire, destroying capital ships before retreating into the void. Varkal's fury reached its peak. How can they predict every move? His mandibles ground together. "This is sorcery, not warfare." It was not sorcery. It was human intellect, applied at a scale the galaxy had never seen. Adaptive shields, predictive algorithms, and stealth technologies combined with real-time battlefield analysis to make the silent fleet seem omnipotent. Every attack was countered, every formation disrupted. The Imperium's greatest captains were falling in disbelief. But humans were not merely defensive. Admiral Kiro's fingers danced over controls, opening hypergates across soul space. Entire squadrons of stealth fighters appeared behind the Imperium lines, cutting supply chains, disabling jump drives, and isolating command vessels. The Imperium's communication networks were flooded with falsified transmissions, forcing allies to distrust one another. In the chaos, Ilara transmitted a warning directly to Varkal. "Surrender your fleet. Continue and you will lose everything. Humanity does not seek war, but we will end it swiftly if forced." The Imperium's war room was a storm of panic. "We cannot retreat," one general shouted. "They are everywhere. We are trapped." Varkal, teeth clenched, gave the order that would seal their fate. "Then we fight to the last ship." The silent fleet moved like shadows. Dreadnoughts appeared, fired, and vanished. Stealth frigates disabled entire wings with pinpoint accuracy. Alien lives were lost, but not indiscriminately. Human strategy targeted the strategic, not the senseless. Every strike forced the Imperium to realize a terrifying truth. Humans were not just powerful, they were surgical, precise, unstoppable. Meanwhile, on distant colonies, alien populations watched in disbelief. The humans they had dismissed as weak were dismantling fleets that once seemed invincible. The crystalline delegates quivered. Gas beings flickered in panic. Even the insectoid generals began to question every assumption they had ever held about dominance and strategy. Yet, within the Imperium, some voices urged caution. One admiral, a veteran of countless wars, whispered, "We underestimated them. Perhaps we should consider diplomacy before it is too late." Varkle silenced him with a roar. "We do not negotiate with insects." It was that arrogance that cost them dearly. Within hours, key Imperium command vessels were destroyed. Communications networks shattered. Entire fleets surrendered, unable to continue under the invisible weight of human precision. Humanity had not just defended itself, they had rewritten the rules of engagement across the stars. Elara Dane watched the aftermath from the Erebus. Stars stretched endlessly before her, and the wreckage of alien arrogance glimmered in orbit. "The galaxy believed we were weak," she said softly. "They believed fear would drive us to submission. They were wrong. Humanity is not fragile. Humanity is inevitable." But the battle was not merely about war. It was a statement, a revelation to every species across the galaxy. Humans were no longer underestimated. They were apex strategists, diplomats, and warriors, capable of matching intellect with force, patience with precision. Every political faction now had to acknowledge their presence, and every would-be aggressor would pause before challenging a species that could appear anywhere, strike anywhere, and vanish without warning. In the Imperium's shattered command center, Varkle's voice was barely audible. We fought the wrong species." His words carried through the void like a confession. "We were blind. They are not to be challenged." And across the galaxy, humans quietly regrouped. No celebrations, no fanfare, only preparation. The silent fleet remained ready, its shadow looming, a reminder that the galaxy's perception of power had changed forever. Elara turned to her officers, eyes sharp with determination. "This is only the beginning. Humanity has been underestimated for too long. Let every world know. Never underestimate what it means to face a species with vision, will, and the courage to act when others hesitate." The galaxy had learned its first lesson. But the next lesson, Elara knew, would be unforgettable. The galaxy had changed overnight. The Imperium's pride lay in ruins, fleets scattered or destroyed, and their influence shattered. Yet the humans did not celebrate, they could not. Elara Dane understood that victory was only meaningful if it reshaped the galaxy for lasting security. The silent fleet remained a shadow, unseen yet omnipresent, while diplomats and spies moved invisibly across star systems. On the neutral planet of Zifra, alien delegates convened. Crystalline beings trembled as holographic projections of human tactics replayed before them. Gas beings pulsed nervously, and insectoid generals ground their mandibles in disbelief. Every faction realized a dangerous truth: humanity's reach was far greater than anyone had imagined. One ambassador, a massive silicon-based creature, spoke with trembling tones. "We relied on strength of arms, strategy, and intimidation. All of it, meaningless. Humans do not fight as others fight. They think beyond what we can perceive. Their fleets, they are everywhere and nowhere." A gas being replied, its colors flickering in anxiety. "They are rewriting the balance of power. If the Imperium falls, what stops them from taking control of the galaxy?" Elara Dane, observing remotely via secure channels, understood the fear she had to cultivate, but not overreach. "Balance," she murmured to Admiral Kiro. "Let them see our strength without provoking needless war. The galaxy must respect, not fear us blindly." Meanwhile, within the Imperium, dissent grew. Varkle's surviving commanders argued endlessly over how to respond. Some wanted to rebuild aggressively, others begged for diplomacy. Their arguments fractured the Imperium faster than any human fleet could. Humans had achieved not just a military victory, they had destabilized the galaxy's largest power without a single occupation. But not all humans agreed on restraint. In a private briefing, one young officer questioned the strategy. "Captain Dane, we have the Imperium on its knees. Why not finish them? Why not show the galaxy the full force of humanity?" Elara's expression was unreadable. Because victory is hollow if it breeds only fear. Humanity's strength must inspire respect and cooperation, not blind terror. There is a difference between conquest and supremacy. We aim for the latter. Behind the scenes, the Silent Fleet revealed an even deeper secret. Hidden compartments in the black dreadnoughts contain not only advanced weaponry but experimental drives capable of bending spacetime. These were not merely ships, they were moving fortresses, capable of appearing across the galaxy in hours, evading detection entirely, and striking with unmatched precision. The Imperium had assumed humans were limited by distance and logistics. They were wrong. Humanity's reach was instantaneous, unpredictable, and unstoppable. In a demonstration, Illyra activated one of the prototype drives. A fleet of stealth cruisers disappeared from orbit around Jupiter and reappeared near the fringe of the Zorathian border, thousands of light-years away, ready to project force or rescue allies. Alien spies monitoring the system gasped in disbelief. The humans were no longer bound by conventional galactic rules. At the same time, secret negotiations began. Several neutral factions, impressed by humanity's intelligence and restraint, offered alliances. Technology sharing, intelligence networks, and trade agreements spread quietly, binding new partners to the Sol Collective. For the first time in millennia, the galaxy witnessed diplomacy enforced not by fear alone, but by competence, foresight, and reputation. Even the Imperium's remnants were forced to negotiate. Varkle, humiliated but still defiant, transmitted a message directly to Illyra. We seek terms. Humanity has shown cunning beyond reckoning. What do you demand? Illyra's reply was deliberate, measured: respect, recognition, and an end to aggression against humanity and our allies. Fail to honor that, and you will discover the full scope of our capabilities. The Imperium had no choice. Their pride shattered, fleets crippled, their empire fractured. They agreed. Across the galaxy, word spread. Humanity had claimed supremacy not through sheer numbers, but through intellect, strategy, and resilience. Yet even in victory, the humans remained vigilant. The Silent Fleet returned to hidden positions, its presence a quiet warning to the galaxy. Technology advanced in secret, colonies expanded, and intelligence networks deepened. Humanity was no longer underestimated. They were apex strategists, diplomats, and warriors, capable of shifting galactic balance without a single act of reckless aggression. Illyra stood on the observation deck of the Erebus, looking at the stars stretched before her like a tapestry of possibilities. The galaxy has learned to respect us, she said. But respect is not enough. They must understand our vision, our will, and our unity. Only then will humanity be safe and free. As she gazed into the void, the Silent Fleet pulsed like a heartbeat across distant systems. Fleets of alien powers were recalibrating, alliances fracturing, spies scrambling. Humanity's silent warning had been delivered. The galaxy would never underestimate them again. And in the shadows of the stars, one thought echoed across the minds of humans and aliens alike. Humanity had not only survived, it had ascended. The galaxy held its breath. Weeks of uncertainty, diplomacy, and shadowed warfare had culminated in this moment. The Imperium, humiliated but still dangerous, had regrouped its scattered fleets for a final strike. Their ambition was clear: crush humanity before the Silent Fleet could expand its influence further. They believed they understood the humans, they did not. In orbit around Saturn, the Sol Collective's flagship Erebus waited, surrounded by the black vessels of the Silent Fleet. Illyra Dane stood on the bridge, eyes scanning the holographic projection of approaching Imperium ships. Thousands of red dots crowded the system, each representing a vessel armed with weapons capable of leveling planets. But humans were ready. Admiral Kiro's hand hovered over the command interface. They're coming fast, Captain. This may be the largest engagement we've faced. Are we prepared to show them everything? Illyra's lips curved into a faint, determined smile. Everything is exactly what they deserve. The Imperium struck first, launching concentrated attacks toward Mars' orbit, aiming to draw the Silent Fleet into a defensive position. Energy beams streaked through the void, lighting up gas giants and icy rings. The humans allowed the first wave to approach, studying patterns, predicting reactions, and preparing their counter. Then, in an instant, the Silent Fleet moved. Ships appeared out of nowhere, slipping through the cracks of space-time, surrounding the Imperium forces in a web they could not detect. Dreadnoughts fired precision volleys that disabled engines without harming crew. Fighters struck command vessels with surgical accuracy. Entire wings were cut off, unable to communicate with their admirals. The Imperium screamed in confusion. How could a species so small, so underestimated, hold them at bay? From the flagship, Ilara transmitted a calm but terrifying message to Varkle. You chose arrogance. Now you will witness the consequences. Imperium ships attempted evasive maneuvers, but the humans had anticipated every tactic. Cloaked frigates flanked the flanks. Adaptive shields and gravity disruptors prevented retreat. Fleets that once believed themselves unstoppable now found themselves outmaneuvered, isolated, and powerless. In the midst of the battle, a shocking twist revealed itself. Hidden within the silent fleet were vessels of unprecedented design, hyperdimensional strike ships. They could phase between realities, appearing in multiple places at once, striking from angles no sensor could detect. Entire squadrons were obliterated before they even realized humans were present. On the bridge of the Erebus, Ilara's voice was calm but resonant. The galaxy has never seen humanity in its entirety. Today, it will. Every alien observer, every spy across the stars, witnessed the Imperium's collapse. Varkle's flagship erupted in controlled detonations as human engineers remotely disabled core reactors, ensuring maximum effect with minimal loss of life. The Imperium's remnants surrendered or vanished into the void, humiliated and defeated. Across the galaxy, alien delegations watched in stunned silence. The insectoid generals, the crystalline diplomats, the gas beings, all realized the same truth. Humans were no longer simply part of the galactic equation. They were apex strategists, thinkers, warriors, and visionaries. A species that could bend physics, outthink opponents, and unify their purpose with perfect precision. Yet even in victory, humanity did not gloat. The silent fleet withdrew to hidden positions. Diplomatic channels opened. Former enemies offered alliance, seeking guidance and protection. Ilara Dane convened a council on Earth, holographic maps displaying every major faction, every fleet, every colony. Humanity is not here to dominate blindly, Ilara told the assembly. We are here to ensure stability, balance, and the survival of intelligent life. But know this, if any faction threatens peace or breaks treaties, the silent fleet will act. We will not be underestimated again. For the first time, the galaxy saw not a species acting out of fear or aggression, but a species acting with foresight, intelligence, and moral clarity. Humans were small in number but unmatched in vision. They had survived assassination attempts, invasions, political subterfuge, and galactic arrogance, and emerged supreme. Varkle, brought before the Human Council under strict observation, bowed low, humbling himself before a species he had once deemed inferior. You are not like any race we have encountered, he admitted, voice shaking. I see now, humanity cannot be challenged. Only respected. Ilara's gaze was unwavering. Respect is earned. Misjudgment has consequences. Let the galaxy remember that. In orbit around Earth, as the sun rose across the blue planet, the silent fleet pulsed invisibly, a quiet guardian watching over humanity. Across colonies and cities, humans looked to the stars with pride, hope, and the knowledge that they had rewritten the rules of existence. The galaxy had learned its final lesson: never underestimate humanity. Their intelligence, adaptability, courage, and unity made them not only survivors but rulers of their destiny. The silent fleet remained unseen, the ultimate warning and protector, a promise that humanity's rise was complete. And so, from underestimated underdogs to galactic apex, humanity had unleashed its full potential, and the stars themselves bore witness to their supremacy. The galaxy would never forget. Humans were silent, patient, intelligent, and unstoppable.